Alright, so 2022's Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers is available now on Disney Plus to stream. It's a Disney Plus original film, and it stars Andy Samberg as Dale and John Mulaney as Chip. Dale being the one with the red Hawaiian shirt and the yellow floral design, and Chip being the one with the fedora and the jacket. Also, another key identifier is Dale has a red nose, Chip has a black nose. But oftentimes, when you see them in the Mickey Mouse cartoons and the various Disney cartoons, their voices are very sped up and high pitched, so you can't really tell what they're saying. But completely different here, you can tell what they're saying. And the funny thing that they do here is Rescue Rangers was actually a show in this universe, and these are the actors. So all these animated characters are living amongst humans. It's a live action animation hybrid, and they do all sorts of different animation styles in here. They have CGI, which you can see in the trailer. They did that with Dale's character. He got the CGI treatment, basically plastic surgery. We also have the 2D animation with Chip and quite a few other characters. There's even a sock puppet at one point. And then there's Muppet-like characters. There's not Muppets specifically, like Kermit or Miss Piggy, but there are characters in the style of the Muppets. One particularly being a cheese dealer, which I'll get into in a minute. But yeah, what other ones? I think I'm missing something, but I'm not 100% sure. Oh yeah, and claymation as well with the character. What's his name? Captain Putty, played by J.K. Simmons, the kind of Gumby looking character. Um, yeah, J.K. Simmons, he always kills it. But this film is directed by Akiva Schaffer, which is actually one of the members of The Lonely Island, which, if you don't know, The Lonely Island consists of Akiva Schaffer. It also has Andy Samberg, and then one other person that I cannot remember at the moment. But let me look it up. Akiva Schaffer also, I believe, directed Pop Star Never Stop, Never Stopping, which is a Lonely Island film. Was also a writer on the Lego Movie, Saturday Night Live. He's done a lot of great stuff, that's for sure. He's a really funny dude. And then I think Jorma Taccone is the other member of the Lonely Island. But started off as like an SNL skit. I believe the first skit they did was Dick in the Box, which, by the way, this review will not be for kids because there's a lot of adult humor in here that I want to touch on. But yeah, I think Dick in the Box was the first like Lonely Island skit, and I think that had Justin Timberlake in there. But another popular one was YOLO with Adam Levine, which I think was on SNL, but I could be wrong. Also in the cast here, we have Kiki Lane as Ellie, which is one of the detectives on the case in this film, which I'll also get into in a minute. We have Will Arnett as Sweet Pete, which, if you watch the trailers, it's the more middle-aged, fatter, more grown-up version of Peter Pan. We also have Eric Bana, the Hulk, as Monterey Jack, one of the original characters from Rescue Rangers. I was surprised to see that it was him when I looked it up. But we also have Dennis Haysbert as Zipper. You might know him as the Allstate guy. But Zipper is another one of those characters from the original Rescue Rangers show. Like I said before, J.K. Simmons as Captain Putty. And then Sweet Pete, he kind of has a couple henchmen. So we have Seth Rogen as Bob the Warrior Viking and Devon McDonald as Jimmy the Polar Bear, which I still can't tell if that's supposed to be like the Coca-Cola bear or something like that. But yeah, there's another really great character in here that I want to talk about, but I can't talk about that until the spoiler discussion, which shouldn't be too long because I really don't have a whole lot to say about it. But I forgot to mention the writers here. There's Dan Greger and Doug Mand. Let me see if I recognize them from anything. Dan Greger has worked on How I Met Your Mother, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Anything else I recognize? Doolittle. Oh, great. Yeah, nothing that really pops out to me that I recognize, but a few things there. Comedy writer. Then Doug Mand also worked on Doolittle. Oh God, as well as How I Met Your Mother. It looks like he's worked on a lot of the stuff that the other guy has done as well. So it looks like they're kind of a duo there. But yeah, really great voice cast here. I think John Mulaney and Andy Samberg have both done really great voices in movies before. Andy Samberg was Johnny in the Hotel Transylvania movies. I don't really care for those too much. The first one's pretty good, but yeah, he plays that character in there. And then John Mulaney, he voices a character in Big Mouth on Netflix, as well as he was Spider-Ham in the Into the Spider-Verse. So yeah, both of them have done voice acting before. A lot of the actors in here have done voice acting before, I believe. Keegan-Michael Key is in this. Tim Robinson is in this. I'm pretty sure they've all done some form of voice work. Kiva Schaffer has a little cameo in here, the director himself, as the Rescue Rangers director. But if you don't know what this is about and you haven't watched any of the trailers, let me give you the synopsis here. 30 years after their popular television show ended, chipmunks Chip and Dale live very different lives. When a cast member from the original series mysteriously disappears, the pair must reunite to save their friend. And essentially what happens in here, and it's a kid's movie, so like, minor spoilers ahead, but Sweet Pete kind of has this, business going on where he's somewhat of a cheese dealer, which in this, realm, in this universe where these animated characters and humans live side by side, that's essentially their drug. Like, it's basically a crack house when you see that shit, and it's fucking hilarious. And that Muppet type character I was talking about, Chip and Dale were going up to him being like, hey, you got any of that stinky cheese? And he starts off being like, oh, we got the Monterey, we got the Brie, we got, all sorts of different cheeses. And he has like an accent going on. But as soon as Chip is like, you got any of that stinky cheese? He's like, his eyebrows go from this to like, and he's like, you guys cops. And I was like, that's the funniest fucking. And the scene that follows that, just them going into this dungeon essentially with these rats just overdosing on cheese, is sorry, my phone's on low battery mode or whatever, but yeah, you go into this dungeon, there's just rats like overdosing on cheese and stuff, and I'm like, this is a crack house right now in a kid's movie. I mean, it's clever the way they do it. Kids won't pick up on it most likely, depending on their age, but they do some really adult jokes in here, and that's just one of them that really sticks out to me. But yeah, Sweet Pete, he has this like movie bootlegging type of business going on, and pretty much any characters that cross him, Flounder being one of them, you kind of see that in the trailer. They get the bootleg treatment, I guess, where their character or themselves, they get changed physically to look different so they can star in the bootleg films. Yeah, it's a little fucked up at times for sure. I think like the polar bear in here erased his mouth so like he couldn't talk, and they just have this machine that just changes them into crazy shit. There's actually a point in this film where Chip and Dale get stuck in that, and you see a bunch of different possible characters, and there's like a little Rick and Morty cameo, a little Ren and Stimpy, a little bit of a Marvel action in there with Deadpool and, well, also Batman. He's not Marvel, but speaking of Batman, this movie definitely pokes fun at like Warner Brothers, but not only Warner Brothers, but themselves too. They poke fun at everything. The thing that this movie does better than Space Jam: A New Legacy is they take their existing properties and stuff and kind of make fun of it and put a twist on it. But as opposed to Space Jam 2, they were just bringing in these characters for small cameos and being like, hey, here's all the stuff we own. So this movie works a lot better than Space Jam: A New Legacy. Is it going to be one of my favorite movies of the year? Possibly. I don't know. I already want to watch it again. It's really funny. Like I said, a lot of adult humor in there that, parents watching this will catch on to and will make them enjoy the movie just as much as their kids. Is it appropriate for kids? Absolutely. You're fine. You're good. I've seen much worse that's supposed to be for kids, so you're fine. This will not scar them by any means, except there's a couple parts in there that just might, and I'll get into that in my spoiler discussion. What else can I say about this film? I mean, I just had a lot of fun with it, with all the different animation styles. Dale gets the CGI treatment, so you have a 2D character and you have a 3D character. I don't know, just a lot of fun, creative things that they do in this film. It's a really funny film. This feels like, and I never watched the Happy Time Murders, but it feels like that, but like for kids. And honestly, just thinking about it, I was like, I kind of want to see a version of this that's like rated R. I really do. Just all these Disney characters living in the same world together, and it's just fucking chaos. I mean, it already kind of is, but even more so. I would like to see a rated R cut of this, even though that's definitely not going to happen. But yeah, overall, like the voice casting is really great. Just the direction and the writing in general, I thought was pretty good. Some of the story aspects kind of fell apart a little bit for me, like Sweet Pete. Couldn't he have just fucking changed himself? Like physically just changed himself with the machine he has to like stay young and stuff? Like, yeah, I don't know. If you watch the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you might be a little bit confused, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm gonna give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. No, 8 out of 10 feels more right to me. Um, I mean, I really loved it. I'm definitely gonna be watching it again. Will it end up on my top 10 favorite movies of this year? There's a really good chance. But I kind of want to talk about some of the cameos real quick. And nothing like super huge or groundbreaking. There's two main huge cameos in here that I'm not going to break down. I mean, there's plenty in here that I could break down, but there's a lot that I missed for sure. And I'm definitely going to be watching some Easter egg videos after I record this. But Baloo is one of them from Jungle Book. You got Roger Rabbit, which we saw in the trailers. They're like, we're dancing the Roger Rabbit with Roger Rabbit. Lumiere is in here from Beauty and the Beast. Um, who else was in here? I mean, Flounder, like I said before. Um, yeah, I can't think of anybody else. But one thing with Seth Rogen's character here, that you saw that scene in the trailers where him and Pumbaa, saw each other, his version of Pumbaa from the live action movie. I thought that was kind of funny. They also bring in some other Seth Rogen characters for that scene, which I thought was hilarious. Um, but yeah, with him, you can tell like the CGI just looks weird on him. It's the uncanny valley kind of stuff, and they poke fun of that at that in the movie. That's a whole other like animation style that they put into this film that I completely forgot to talk about. Just like they literally have just like a section of the city where all these characters live, and they call it the uncanny valley, which I think is hilarious because I was just talking about it in my She-Hulk review that the big thing with her character right now in the design is the uncanny valley. It just something doesn't look right. So that's definitely how Seth Rogen's character is in the film, and they poke fun of at that, and it's done intentionally. And at one point, he even said one of the characters, I think either Chip or Dale, they were like, he's got those Polar Express eyes, and I was like, oh my god, that movie's kind of horrifying in terms of the animation that they did for it, because like a lot of the faces are sculpted after Tom Hanks. So you have like a man face put onto a kid's body, and I'm just like, ugh. But yeah, look that shit up. A lot of different animation styles in here, a lot of cameos, a lot of Easter eggs, and so many funny things that I really don't want to give away. I've already kind of given away too much, but yeah, that's about all I can say in terms of non-spoilers. Like I said, 8 out of 10. Really great movie. Highly recommend you guys check it out. And if you have kids, definitely let them watch it because I think they'll enjoy it. If you're a diehard fan of Rescue Rangers, maybe this will put a bad taste in your mouth, but go into it knowing what it is, If you're looking for a Rescue Rangers reboot in the sense that it's like the characters from the show and they're doing what the characters from the show do, it's not quite that. It's a different take on it. It's like, what if these cartoon characters were actors in those and they live in the real world? It's clever, and they have like even smaller houses for smaller cartoon characters and stuff. It's just really clever. I love it. Do a lot of creative things. The cast is great. The writing's pretty great. I had a lot of fun with this, so yeah, definitely check it out. But if you don't want to hear any spoilers, I suggest you click off the video. But before you do, I'm on Facebook and Instagram at Pop Culture Podcast. Follow me there. And if you're watching on YouTube, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you're watching on the podcast, go ahead and click off. All the same things apply there, except for the like, comment, and subscribe thing. So yeah, let's talk about some spoilers. Not for long. I don't have a whole lot to say. If you don't want to hear any spoilers, you've been warned. So here we go. Two big cameos in this movie. Ugly Sonic, the original design of Sonic from that first trailer that everybody hated. Fucking hilarious. Although I almost would have preferred if Jason Mantzoukas, hopefully I'm saying his name right, would have played that character because I feel like his voice would have gone perfectly with it. But it was Tim Robinson, which I also love. Tim Robinson, he's a great comedian. And if you haven't watched Something's Burning, or no, not Something's Burning. I think you should leave with Tim Robinson. That's really funny. You should check that out. But also Paul Rudd has a cameo in here. He's signing things and talking about a movie called Aunt Man, where his power is just like being really charming to ants, like aunts, like your mother's sister. I thought that was really funny. They even have like a little poster for it at the end. Um, but yeah, that's really all I have to say in terms of non spoilers. Like, there's not a whole lot in terms of non spoilers that I had to say. I mean, it's not like a Marvel level event where it's like there's so many things to spoil. It's an animated movie essentially, and so like there's only so much you can really spoil about that. But there are a lot of Easter eggs, a lot of cameos and stuff, so it's worth kind of talking about for a second for sure. The ugly Sonic stuff, best part of the movie. I was not expecting that, and the fact that they did this in this film was very bold, and the fact that they got away with it too is insane to me. But yeah, that's really all I have to say. Actually, let's talk about those posters real quick. Batman versus ET, fucking hilarious. Where ET was like, ET forgive Batman or something like that, and Batman's just like, fine. That shit was hilarious. I'm surprised they got away with that. The Meryl Streep as Mr. Doubtfire, I think that's hilarious. I saw one for like Dog President 3 or something like that, and then the first one I saw was Fast and Furious Babies, which there's even a bald headed baby with like Vin Diesel's clothes on there. I was like, I need that movie. That's hilarious. There are some like characters on the Hollywood Walk of Fame that I saw. There were Chun Li, Yogi Bear, and then Squidward. So I thought that was kind of funny, just like the attention to detail there. And then there's one other thing I was gonna say. Oh yeah, in the background at first, there's a Gucci ad, and first instinct I was like, that's Davi. And then I keep looking at it, I'm like, maybe that's just like a weird looking dog person. But the more I look at it and the more I hear other people talk about it, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Dobby. So the fact that they have these Warner Brothers references in here and kind of poking fun at them, I think is hilarious. And also, it's just perfect that it's Dobby because the fact that like you have to give him clothes to be free, and he's just sitting here, wearing Gucci. So yeah, really great movie. Highly recommend it. That is the end of the video and the end of the podcast. So thank you guys for watching / listening. I will see you in the next one.